Open your kitchen at 11 p.m. There's cold soda in a can, pizza from yesterday, yogurt that somehow stays fresh for weeks, cereal in a box, fruit grown on a continent you may never visit. To you, that's normal. To almost every human who ever lived, that would look like a private food vault built for a king. Because for millions of years, food did not sit behind a door, waiting politely under electric light. Food had to be found, dug up, chased down, cracked open, burned, or eaten fast before rot got too far ahead of hunger. So when people ask what ancient humans actually ate, they usually expect a menu. That is the wrong question. The disturbing part is not what they ate. The disturbing part is that your body still wants it. Before we were hunters, we were opportunists, not warriors, not spear-throwing action heroes, sprinting across the savannah in perfect formation. Early humans were more like the cleanup crew, arriving after the powerful animals finished the meeting. A lion kills an antelope. It takes the best parts first: muscle, liver, heart. Then the hyenas come in and turn the leftovers into a demolition site. By the time your ancestors arrived, the luxury cuts were gone. What remained were thick thigh bones, skulls, tendons, scraps, pieces nobody else could easily use. But humans had a strange advantage: hands, hooks, and the patience to smash things open. Those early stone flakes, called Oldowan tools, were not elegant. They were not beautiful. They were sharp enough to do the job. And the job was simple: break the bone. Inside was marrow, dense fat, heavy calories. Locked inside a container most animals could not open. That was not gross to them. That was winning. A cracked skull was even better. Brain tissue is packed with fat, and fat was the difference between making it through the week and becoming part of the landscape. So when you crave rich food today, that is not just weakness. That is old math. Your body still treats fat like treasure because for millions of years it was. Then comes the part the natural diet crowd usually skips. Before cooking, everything was raw: fruit, tubers, leaves, seeds, insects, meat, torn from a carcass before something larger came back for it. And raw food is not some clean lifestyle upgrade. It is work. Raw plants lock their calories behind tough cell walls. Cellulose is basically plant armor, and the human digestive system is bad at breaking it open. Raw tubers may look like food, but without heat, much of their energy passes through you like a missed paycheck. Early hominins were built for that problem: bigger guts, stronger jaws, larger teeth, more chewing, more grinding, more time spent turning hard, fibrous material into enough energy to stay alive. Modern chimpanzees still live closer to that world. They can spend 6 to 8 hours a day chewing. 6 to 8 hours. That is not snacking. That is a full-time job, with dental damage. And this is where the modern fantasy collapses. Your body is not designed to spend half the day chewing leaves and raw roots, like some wellness influencer's fever dream. Your jaw is smaller. Your gut is shorter. Your teeth are weaker. You are not a raw food machine, pretending to be civilized. You are the result of a long escape from raw food. Your jaw, your gut, and your teeth are not built for the fantasy version of natural eating. Then fire changed the contract. The oldest strong evidence of controlled human fire comes from Wonderwork Cave in South Africa, roughly 1 million years ago. And fire was not just warmth. Fire was a biological hack. Cooking breaks food down before your body has to. It softens roots, loosens meat, makes starches easier to access, makes calories easier to pull out of every bite. Cooking is predigestion. Raw food makes your body do the whole job alone. Cooked food walks into your digestive system, already partially processed. That matters more than people realize. A large gut is expensive tissue. It takes energy to run. A powerful jaw takes muscle. Big teeth take structure. Hours of chewing take time. Cooking started cutting those costs. And once the body stopped spending so much energy on brute force digestion, that energy could go somewhere else. The brain. Your brain is only about 2% of your body weight, but it burns roughly 20% of your calories. That is a ridiculous machine to operate. You do not power something like that on raw leaves and motivational quotes. This is why some scientists argue cooking did not happen after humans became fully human. Cooking helped make us human. the shrinking gut, the smaller jaw, the weaker teeth, the expanding brain. That was not random. That was the receipt. The campfire was not a kitchen appliance. It was an evolutionary engine. And once humans learned to unlock more calories, the menu got wider, stranger, and less polite. By the time humans looked mostly like us, they were eating almost anything the world was careless enough to leave within reach. Mammoth, bison, reindeer, wild horse, fish, shellfish, roots, wild grains, berries, nuts, mushrooms, eggs stolen from nests, honey pulled from trees, insects dug out of wood and dirt, larvae, rotten meat, whatever carried calories and did not kill you immediately. That was the rule. Not elegance, not preference. Return on effort. The Hadza in Tanzania still show part of that old equation. Wild honey can make up a serious share of their calories, and they will climb dangerous trees, take hundreds of stings, and keep going back. Because sugar, in the wild, is not dessert. It is high-speed fuel. Same with insects. Termites, grubs, beetles, fat larvae under bark. Modern people hear that and make a face. Ancient humans saw protein and fat wrapped in a shell. That was not desperation food. That was inventory. And then there was rotten meat. If a kill was too large to eat immediately, people could bury it, stash it in caves, or leave it in cold streams. Days later, sometimes weeks later, they came back to meat that had already started breaking itself down. Disgusting? Sure. Useful? Also, yes. Rot softens tissue. Bacteria begin the work your body would otherwise have to do alone. And before modern people get too smug, look at the refrigerator. Cheese, yogurt, sourdough, beer, wine, soy sauce, pickles. That is controlled rot with a brand name. Cheese is not civilization overcoming rot. It's chisuma with paperwork. Then we get to the part every polite history class steps around. Cannibalism. And the lazy explanation is always the same. Starvation. People were desperate. Food ran out. They did what they had to do. Sometimes, yes, but not always. At Gough's Cave in England, researchers found human bones from about 14,700 years ago. And the evidence does not look like panic. It looks organized. Skulls had been carefully cleaned. The face was removed. The base was cut away. What remained was shaped into skull cups. Long bones were cracked open for marrow, just like animal bones. And one forearm bone had a zigzag engraving carved into it after the meat was gone. That detail is hard to ignore, because a starving person does not usually stop to decorate the evidence. Here is the twist. The cave also contained animal remains, horses, deer, other food sources. So this was not simply a room full of people with no options. Then the calorie math makes it even colder. A human body gives roughly 125,000 calories. A bison gives around 600,000. A mammoth gives close to 3 million. So humans were not efficient food. They were not the smart choice, if the only goal was calories, which means sometimes they were symbolic food, a ritual, a message, a way of turning death into meaning or power or memory. That is the part that does not sit cleanly in the modern stomach. The disturbing part is not that humans ate humans. The disturbing part is that sometimes they did not need to. Now, pull the camera back. Sugar, fat, salt, protein, fermented flavor, calorie density. Those are not random cravings. They are old survival signals wearing modern packaging. Honey became the donut, bone marrow became the burger, salt became the chip aisle. Fermentation became cheese, yogurt, beer, wine, and every expensive little jar in the back of a gourmet grocery store. Meat craving became protein obsession, dressed up in fitness language, and sold back to you in tubs with lightning bolts on the label. Your body does not know what a supermarket is. It does not understand abundance. It does not understand that the lights will stay on, the shelves will be restocked, and another delivery truck will arrive tomorrow morning. Your body only knows the old rules. Eat what is rich. Eat what is rare. Eat while you can. Because for most of human history, that was not bad discipline. That was intelligence. Then modern food companies found the control panel. They took ancient signals and engineered them at industrial scale. Sugar sharper than honey, fat easier than marrow, salt everywhere. Crunch, softness, sweetness, fermentation, protein, convenience. Packaged food is not just food. It is a boardroom weapon, pointed at a Stone Age nervous system. So at 11 p.m., when you open the fridge, even though you are not hungry, understand what is happening. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are not craving snacks. You are obeying a 3 million-year-old emergency protocol. Drop a modern human 50,000 years into the past, and the fantasy ends fast. Most would die in days. Not because they are stupid, because the world no longer comes with labels. You would not know which water was safe, which plants were edible, which mushrooms were quiet poison. You could not run long enough, climb well enough, crack bone cleanly enough, or find honey without turning your hands into swollen wreckage. You would die staring at a landscape full of food you could not read. Now, reverse it. Drop an ancient human into your kitchen. They would think they had walked into a god's pantry. A cold, sweet drink sealed in metal. Bread baked by a stranger. Milk kept fresh for weeks. Fruit from another continent. Meat no one had to chase, kill, skin, or carry home. For 3 million years, humans were hungry, cold, and tired. You might be the first person in your bloodline who is not. That should make the midnight fridge run feel a little different. Your kitchen is not normal. It is the rarest feeding environment any human body has ever lived inside. And if that made ordinary life look suspicious, stay close. There is more history hiding in the things you stopped questioning.